Well, hopefully everything is working well here tonight. Good evening, everybody. Um, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. My Milwaukee Brewers are going to the postseason once again. So it is only the second time in my lifetime where we've actually had back-to-back playoff years. Let's see. I'm trying to change my view so I could get what I want. Hey, Jay is here, the NES addict. Hope you're doing well. Play Zelda 2. Not tonight, Mike. I'm working on another video for that. But we'll be doing Zelda at a later point in time. Basically, when I start Link's Awakening, I'm going to stream the whole thing. I actually never played the Game Boy version. So let me know, too, in the chat if the audio is good on both the gameplay and on me. I will make adjustments as we need to. I'm going to make one little adjustment on my end. Just need to turn the backlight up a little too. So yes, I got made fun of quite a bit for obvious reasons, because it's to make fun of me. It's a pretty target-rich environment, but because of the fact that I did not like Golden Axe. Wait, really? What, Jay or Mike? The fact that I'm gonna do that? I had never played Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. No, I had not played Link's Awakening. Or if I had, I honestly don't remember. But I had been made fun of by my good friend CastlemaniaGames for not liking Golden Axe for the Genesis. So we're gonna play some. We are going to be using the Retro Fighters BrawlerGen USB controller. And the footage that you're seeing, I'm going through my my Elgato, and I'm actually using an mCable gaming edition. So this should look exceptional. It looks great on my end. I hope it looks great on your end. YouTube compression and everything I know can play havoc with stuff like this. You know what I haven't done yet? I'm going to just double check to make sure. Yeah, and that's Jay. I'm right with you. I think I may have played it for a couple minutes at one point in time, but I don't remember playing a whole lot. Hey, Sean, how you doing? I'm just going to check my levels and everything here real quick on my end. Your channel, make sure everything is working right. Oh, everything looks and sounds good. So, all right. You guys have any questions that we're going along? Let me know. I'll be going back and forth from the gameplay to the chat as much as possible. One thing, I am going to throw a link in here real quick too, and I may do this a couple of times. Actually, there's no may about it. I will be doing this a couple of times. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you may know or may have seen me post something about my brother Scott. So I am the youngest of three, and my middle brother Scott is going through his second bout with cancer. He had colon cancer about 10 years ago, and we got news the day that my dad passed away, actually, that it's back. He actually starts his chemo tomorrow, and if anyone can help us out, well, him, tab just so I've got a good link. You're going to see me throw this link out there quite a bit. Good thing, bad thing is the fact that, hey, Chum Nasty, paste the link in here. So the good news for me, bad news is the fact that, yes, it sucks that he's going through this again, that we're going through this again. But the fact that I will actually be out by him the weekend of the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. He actually lives up in Portland, so I'm going to be able to spend some time with him. Sean wants to know, should you get the Switch or the Switch Lite? Normally, I would say you have to wait for the review, but I'm going to ask you some questions because for each person, it's different. We'll go into Golden Axe here. Again, I'm using the Retro Fighters BrawlerGen controller. Thank you, Chum Nasty. If you are going to use your Switch portably, primarily, you're not going to use it as a dock system much or at all, then the Switch Lite would make more sense. If you want to play on your TV, if you have bigger hands, I would say, and battery life is less of a concern, then go with the original Switch. Just my feeling, just in a nutshell. We'll use the Conan looking dude. Now, one of the neat things about the BrawlerGen controller is the analog stick that it has here. Let's see how it actually... Yeah, plays just fine. Okay, so I don't want to hit A. That's magic. That's dumb. Joshua, hey, Retro Tony, how you doing? Do you ever think you'll get an N64 Classic? It'll be tough. The N64 has always kind of been tough to emulate. And I don't know that there is the love and the demand for the N64 that there was for the original NES and the Super NES. Now, if Sega is smart, what they do with a follow-up to the Genesis and Mega Drive Mini is they come out with the version 2 that has more games and everything on it, but they release it with the console style of the Model 2 Genesis. I think that's just a no-brainer for them to do. What it does automatically, even if people hack the Genesis Mini, which I have no doubt at some point in time they will end up doing. You know, if you have something that is not just has different games, but also looks different, then you create, you know, a demand that way from the collector's market. So one of the things I never really cared for this is, to me, the gameplay just felt so slow and plodding. You know, it's a good-looking game. I'm not going to bash it from that standpoint. You know, from a look standpoint, it looks great. But it just, I don't know if it's a frame rate thing or just overall performance of the game has just always felt to me extremely slow. Do want to thank everybody too for you know, coming along and watching on the channel over the last, you know, 2.5 years or so. Just earlier today we crossed 7,600 subscribers, which is pretty cool. I know I've been joking with there's another YouTuber that I follow who I've talked about him in the past. Come here, you. His name is, or his channel name is the Anti-Trekker, and he's at about 8,600 subscribers right now, 8,800. And I jokingly told him the last couple of days that I would race him to 10,000. If you, God bless it, I wish you could remap that. If you're into sci-fi and Star Wars and Star Trek, and I would definitely suggest checking him out, along with you know, another guy by the name of Birdo Prey 5, who's got some really good content too. Let's see. Hey DOA, how you doing? Sorry to hear about your brother. I'm going to pause it for a second here. Have you tried the 6-button Retrobit controller for the Mini? I have. I've done the unboxing for it. If you haven't seen it, it feels exactly like the Genesis 6-button controller. I just wanted to play with the Retrobit controller because, or not the Retrobit, the Retro Fighters, I'm sorry. Oh, these guys suck. I just have not had a chance to play on this controller to this point. Thanks, Chum Nasty, on the congratulations. I appreciate that. It's one of those things where you guys help keep me going and everything with everything going on, especially with, you know, like my dad's passing, and just through hard times. I mean, it's your comments, your smart assedness. Continue. Yes, we will continue. Oh, kept it start, not A. You know, you guys keep me on my toes, and it's fun, and you add a lot, not just to the channel, but to my life. So I really appreciate everybody and everything that you guys do here, and gals, of course. We've got, you know, JLove81. We've got Linda, aka the Gamer Girl. Somewhere around here, we'll probably have, you know, not a female, but Megaban29. These guys are like terrible. I'm not liking this. And this is a game that, like I say, we are... Oh, thanks, Jay. You know, we're playing due to the one and only Castlemania Ryan. If you guys haven't done so yet, make sure you check out CastlemaniaGames.com. He does have these available for pre-order, too. Haven't had a chance to use it. I was hoping it was a good choice. Yeah, Chumnasty, it is a really stout controller. They worked very hard with Sega to... I mean, it's officially licensed, so it not only had to pass, you know, Retrobit's own quality control tests and everything, but it had to pass the muster with Sega as well. This almost feels like a Data East game to me. It's kind of like RoboCop. Just as far as with the slow movement of the characters. I mean, the character sprites look good and everything. Just... Yeah, I've just never been a fan of this. I'll tell you one game that's on here, though, that is at least the remake version is great, is Dragon Ball, or Monster Boy and Dragon World, that's what it is. I've been playing that on the Switch lately. It's probably been, on the Switch, the game I've been playing more than anything else as of late. And just because I have not opened my copy of Link's Awakening yet. Speaking of which, I want to let you guys know something, at least that's happening here locally. Our local Walmart, for brand new games, they are $10 off. Now, they can't advertise them at that because of what's called MAP pricing, or minimum advertised pricing. But it is something that if you are looking to save some coins, some rupees on some games and whatnot, it is a not a bad way to go. I know I first noticed it with Mario Maker, but our local retro game store, Adrian at Live Action Games, had also noted that Link's Awakening was also on sale for $50 versus $60. So I get to ride a dragon. And come here, you. You know, and again, like I kind of said in the tweet that I put out, hey, Krillin, how you doing? We are also a little bit of celebration tonight with my my Milwaukee Brewers making it to the postseason for the second time in 2 consecutive years. It's only the second time in franchise history that they have made the playoffs in 2 consecutive years. The first time was in 81 and 82, and in 81 it was actually a strike-shortened year, where what they ended up doing was they had, because they didn't play all 162 games, they basically had a first half champion and a second half champion, and then they played each other. Milwaukee won... I want to say we won the first half. Let's see. Is it weird that the NES is the easiest system to mod, literally with one thing within the console itself? It's more than one thing. No, I would say the Super NES or the N64 are the easiest to modify, especially if you have the RGB mod chips from Voltar. Going to get a Switch Lite for now. Here's the thing is, if you're not sure, if you don't have a Switch, you don't know if you'll like it, for the $100 that you're gonna save on the Switch Lite over the Switch, you can get your Nintendo Online membership for a year. You can get another top tier game, and then some indie games as well, or some eShop games. Not to be confused with Earshot games, although having Earshot games would be pretty cool too. So these women in the pink and everything, they look awfully beastly to me. This game is terrible. Oh, no worry, Krillin. Yeah, just come and hang out. We love to have you guys here. Do they have the sale at all Walmarts? I don't know. I just know at the 2 that I've been to, I've noticed it. Now, one thing I want to check here again, so 30... Terrible. hold down the start button and see if it takes me back to the main menu. And actually, the mode button takes me back to main menu. Let's return to the main menu. And yes, we'll do that real quick. Pixel Game Squad in the house. Guys, you need to come to Portland. Come on. Recommend screen protector for when you first pull it. I don't. I don't like screen protectors, generally speaking, because what happens is they inevitably get bubbles and whatnot under them. Hold on for a second. And they become more annoying than what they're worth. We're opening up just a little bit, by the way, of some Sprecher Cherry Cola, Wisconsin made. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of switch protect or of screen protectors. Every Walmart I've been to is having that sale. I don't think it's a sale as much as just they're doing an in-store discount on the price. So let's go back in Golden Axe here again. Not a big fan so far. It felt slow. Now that was the arcade version. Let's go to option. Oh, control. Let's see, I want A to be attack, B to be jump, C to be... Okay, I like that. Life meter, we're going to crank that sucker up. Still kind of keeping an eye out, and because I suck at it, we're going to go to begin. We'll choose this guy this time, see if he's any better. So, Sean, the neat thing about the Sprecher sodas is it is made in Wisconsin, like I mentioned. You can get them if you have a Menards in your area, they have them. Some Farm and Fleets and Fleet Farm stores have them. But they have an orange soda, a cream soda, a grape soda, cherry cola. Root beer is pretty much their bread and butter. But instead of using sugar for their sweeteners, they actually use honey. Kind of like Riff uses honey. Let's see. By the way, I did get the Mega Man X today and clean. Good! Mega Man X is a great game. The woman in the purple, like I say, just looks super beastly. I get some more magic here. Oh, well, that's not what I wanted to do. How do I jump up there? He's not letting me jump up there. Let's see if I can go at it this way. Huh, here. Landed right by the magic. Means I'm by Disney if I'm by the magic? Give him a little piece of tail there. Let's see. Also, yesterday I was gaming convention with my friend. It was a lot of fun to have. Yeah. The first convention that I went to of any type was Mo GameCon. And it was just fun to be there and hang out with people. I mean, it's also just good to hang out with people like, see guys like John Riggs, Jason, aka Metal Jesus Rocks, was there. Kinsey and Kelsey were there, Radical Reggie. So overall, that was a ton of fun. And then from there, having Portland being my second convention that I got to go to, hanging out with Gabbo and Riff, meeting Castlemania Ryan in person, everything it was awesome. It was really good. Even if we did feel like the hotel that we were staying at may have had one or two serial killers that may have been there at some point in time. But we all survived. So far, I'm liking... Now, let me rephrase it, or let me kind of state this a little bit differently. So the... this dude here feels better gameplay-wise, but I also changed the difficulty level. That could just be that, too. Am I going to Mo GameCon? That's the plan right now. For us, it's about a 4.5-hour drive. Yeah, maybe 5, or maybe 3. All depending on basically if how the baby travels. This year on the way to the show, she kind of fussed a little bit, but on the way back, she pretty much slept from when we went out to eat and drove all the way back to Champaign. Check the chat in a second here too. Now I gotta say the audio is good on this. You know, it's your traditional, you know, Genesis style audio. You know, the real heavy on the synth bass and everything like that. If anything, the audio kind of reminds me a little bit of. Oh, Welcome to Your Doom. What's the name of that game? Why can't I think of it? Not cool. Altered Beast. Let's see here. Portland was so great, man. Truly a great time. It was great. Looking forward to being out there again. I love it. Still have my Mega Man 8, X5, and X6 on PS1. That's awesome. Pixel Game Squad. Well, I'm trying. I don't know. Aaron, I know that you're not really on social media, but I have been trying to talk you up to the guys at the Midwest Gaming Classic. I think I have them convinced to bring in rigs. But I threw you guys out there too. I'd like to get out to the SoCal Gaming Expo, or whatever that is. That's in like January or February. That's out that way. Hey, got some meat. Power up. Now, for those of you who are more familiar with the series, correct me if I'm wrong. Was there a Mega Drive? Or I'm sorry, yeah, Mega. Yes, there was a Mega Drive version of this. Was there a Master System version of this? You seem to recall. Or am I confusing with a different game? Like this almost reminds me in parts of like Gauntlet. And again, I'm going to share a link in here too. Let's see, Retro Tony says, would have the most excellent time in St. Louis. I agree with that. Can't beat the pizza and the Arch. Giordano's in Chicago. Much better pizza. Let's see. I'm going to do my best to go to Retro Game or Mo Game Con. Good deal. Beast Mode. Hey, Rock's playing one of my favorite Genesis games. Welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen you before, Beast Mode. You're in Iowa? Yeah, that wouldn't take you. You're probably about the same distance away as I am here in Champaign. These guys almost remind me of like Adobo from Double Dragon. Let's use some magic on them. I'm trying to get, and I was kind of hoping he would be in here at some point tonight. Mike, a.k.a. Chit Chat Gaming, is also in Iowa. I was kind of hoping, or would like to have him come up too. So the link that I threw in, and you guys are going to hear me talk about this a little bit here tonight on and off. I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream. My middle brother, Scott, is actually going through terminal cancer. Not, but well, it could be. But going through metastasized cancer right now. And basically, it's the equivalent of like a GoFundMe to help him with his medical costs that he does. If you guys can help him out, I would greatly appreciate it too. He had colon cancer back in 2009, and the same day that we found out that my dad had passed, he found out that his cancer had. That was August 22nd. Not a good day for our family. I'll check the chat again in a second. Oh, dude, that's cheap. That's something Gabbo would do. And then for anyone wondering, again, we are playing on a Sega Genesis Mini. I am using the Retro Fighters BrawlerGen USB controller. Been finding myself mostly using the analog stick. The D-pad works just as well, though. I did remap the A, B, C buttons just because I didn't like having magic on A. So I've got, my attack on A, jump on B, and C is magic. Beast Mode, you seen me before. I've been commenting on your videos for about a year. Okay. Catch your live stream on and off because you stream late. Yeah, I stream late and not that often. Oh, really? That sucks. I'm really kind of disappointed in Castlemania Ryan right now that he's not here. Holy cow, 22 got people in here? Thank you so much. And again, we are drinking Sprecher Cherry Cola. I do not drink. Yeah, I mean, I will tell you, going from, we'll try the arcade mode, but I'll use the warrior here too and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, it's an easy drive from here down to the Mo Game Con. And if you're in Iowa, quite honestly, I would seriously consider trying to go to the Midwest Gaming Classic too. It is such, it's not quite as big on as far as just the area that the show itself takes up, but I would say it is the closest. I mean, not that I've been to a ton of shows so far, but it's the closest thing that I've found to Portland so far. The free play area is awesome. The reseller area is great. They've got a really good location downtown. So Beast Mode, I will tell you that this is honestly the first time in like 20 years that I've played this at least. I was liking the guy I was just playing at, although this one seems pretty good here. Let's see, 69 Pig Lover. I'm watching this while on the can. Just make sure that you wash your hands. Trip. Will your Brewers meet my Braves in the NLCS? I didn't know that you were a Braves fan. Maybe you told me that last year. I don't know. Here's the thing. I never thought that we were going to make it to the playoffs as recently as a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And between the run that the team has gone on and how poorly the Cubs have played, it's been just outstanding. I still don't think that we have the pitching to go far in the playoffs. If we have to play at Washington for the one-game playoff, I don't like our odds to get past them. If we're playing at home, maybe. But Washington's a darn good team too. I mean, that's you can't take anything away from any of the teams that are in the playoffs already. Even teams on the outside looking in, the Mets would have been a hard team to face. The Cubs would have been a hard team to face. Arizona, as they're proven the last two nights against against St. Louis, they would have been tough in the playoffs. I think there's a lot of parity in the upper second tier of the National League. I think it's LA's to lose. I don't see any way that they don't go to back-to-back World Series. But I also don't see how the Astros don't win another World Series. Let's pause for a second, check the comments here. Still talking about the Brewers. I am talking about my Brewers with all 22 people here. Let's see. Where's Midwest Gaming Classic located? Milwaukee. Let's see. Pause the game while she's in the middle of her special attack. You can see her butt crack. Really? Gabbo Gabbo. Robert, how you doing? I still remember the moment I saw your team lose at that restaurant. My God, I really saw it. Yeah, that hurt. The Nats are beatable, but in the playoffs, it comes down to your three top pitchers. Oh, thank you, Krillin. I appreciate that. I did. That was tough to watch because that was the best chance probably since 1982 that we've had to get to a World Series, let alone win a World Series. I think we would have matched up a lot better than oh, that was nice. A lot better than the Dodgers against the Red Sox last year. Was it the Red Sox? Yeah, the Red Sox went there last year. Oh, dude, I was hurting. That sucked. And what really sucked too was the fact that for the second time a team got to celebrate going to the World Series at Miller Park, and it wasn't Milwaukee. It was the Cardinals in 2011, and then the Dodgers last year. Yeah, but the one thing I will remember from that night, though, Gabbo, is you making a new friend in the one and only Adam Korlick. Watching you two guys kind of talk and chill and hang out was really awesome to see. Lakers are the best hockey team. They are the greatest because of the girly Joe Montana. Well, and don't forget Mary Lou Retton as well, who's the place kicker for him. I think Mary Lou Retton is probably my favorite Smash Brothers character, too. No, I haven't gotten Earthworm Jim yet, John. I'm going to play this probably a little bit longer, and I will get to Earthworm Jim. Oh, I thought that was going to kill me going off the edge there. Living on the edge. I've been playing a lot of Killer Instinct. Yep, it's a great game. Yeah, Adam is really awesome. So, like I say, I'm with your love for Sega consoles and his knowledge of Sega stuff. I'm glad to see you guys. You had a love connection. Although I am kind of not frustrated with him. But when I RGB modded his Super Famicom Jr., it's like, who's better than mine? I want a Super Famicom Jr. now. My regular Super Famicom sucks. Yours is better. But I guess, too, just seeing some of the updates from Voltar and everything, he's been doing some updates to both the N64 and the Super NES Super Famicom mod chips. Like the Super Famicom one and the Super NES one it's the same board. And it was a lot smaller, and even the one for the N64 is a lot smaller now, too. Toe Jam and Earl will not get played. That is a terrible game. I am not in fact, there is a channel out of St. Louis called Game and Browse. I am actually going to be picking them up with my copy of Toe Jam and Earl because Aaron is a huge fan of the series. Let's see. Pause for a second here. What's the mCable? So the mCable is basically... Oh, Gabbo, thank you. I appreciate it, my friend. Gabbo with the $5 donation. Donation hype. So the mCable is basically take your HDMI cable and integrate something that does anti-aliasing on it, that does smoothing, and just overall makes the picture look better. I am working on a video about it right now. This is the second time I've had second chance I've been able to use it. I've used it only on the Genesis Mini so far, but I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing compared to just a regular HDMI cable. And I'm actually going through a 5-way switch box into my Elgato with the mCable. And I mean, I like the fact that it gives me the option to do stuff like that, just as long as it's hooked up somewhere in the stream, if that makes sense. And when I say stream, I mean the stream of the connections between the console and the capture card. Stuttering Stick, how you doing? Wow, 30 people in here. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. Push B and to hit guys behind you. It must be A and B because I've remapped the buttons. Because I've got Magic mapped to C. Oh, you dirty bugger. Oh, I'm out of magic. I didn't realize that. Seriously, those women look like they're dudes. They look like Riff. Oh my god, they look like Riff and Drag. Or is that Ricky? Could be Ricky. Although, no, I'm not seeing the porn stash, so it can't be Ricky. So graphically, I think the game looks good. I just not a fan of the gameplay itself. Instead of this, I actually would have liked to see him include one of the Genesis versions of Double Dragon. That would have been cool. Or Double Dragon and Battletoads would have been really awesome too. Is anyone else surprised, let me ask you this in the chat, that they were able to do or have the Castle of Illusion games on here with a Disney license? I was actually kind of surprised to see and hear that. Just because I think EA has pretty much all Disney licensees at this point. You never set the slap. Uh-oh. Hang on one second. I have a message here. Yes, Aaron. That's old. So, yeah. Do me a favor, too, if you guys are in here, I'm sure you've heard of guys like the NES Addict. The NES... Actually, you know what? I was thinking about this earlier, and Riff, you need to do this. Is on Columbus Day, you need to do some kind of a, you know, give me Retro Liberty or give me death or something along those lines. So let's pause here and check. Main event, boxing talk, main event. How dare you play Golden? I suck at this. When NES Gary will visit us. Gabbo, I've talked to you about coming out for the SoCal Retro Gaming Expo. I want to get back out to the Irvine area, Liceo Viejo. I love that area. Go to a Boomers. Boomers are so much fun. I remember going to the Irvine Spectrum Mall when they still had Sega City there. Sega City was... So think of Dave & Buster's, but that isn't full of suck. So basically think of John Riggs instead of me. So, and I joke, I keyed, although even with the hat now I look even more like John. You know, get these guys going. Yeah, I saw that pic, Aaron. That's awesome. This is a slobber knocker right now, folks. I'll tell you that much. And we will continue. Oh, hold on here, guys. We've got Gabbo calling in. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Oh, dude, you hung up. Really? Let's see. Wait, I thought this was John's second channel. No, not quite. For some reason, kind of sort of expect that Singer was going to license put Castle Evolution on, but I didn't expect that there. Yeah, I didn't expect either. Still going faster at 188 pounds. Yeah. Smashing, Riff. That's all I got to say. Smashing. Sometimes I regret giving some people my phone number. Okay, Gabo's calling back. Let's see what we have here. Hello, caller. You're on the air. I picked up the phone. You're on the air. I'm not gonna play. I don't know if I ever told you this or not, but Espas suck. Espas is terrible. Worst controller ever. I look cute? Well, of course I look cute. I'm a sexy beast. So someone in the chat who will go nameless wants to know if you have a green card.
No, I got the blue card.
He has a blue card? I thought you had a brown card.
Actually, yeah, I got the green card. Xbox.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, that's true. Because you have to pay for Xbox Live because they charge you an arm and a leg for everything.
Well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's ask everybody what is the best controller.
Okay, chat, if you guys didn't hear him, Gabo wants to know what the best controller is. I am not a fan of the Xbox controller. My favorite controller of all time?
Yeah.
I really like the GameCube controller.
Okay, wait, let's do PS4 versus the best controller ever, Xbox One controller. So let's see what people say.
Okay, people. So Gabo wants to know Xbox One controller, which is hot garbage, or the PS4 controller. And just for let's see, and Nagito, I think it is, says Saturn controller. Someone said Saturn. Chum Nasty says the PS3. NES Addict says Super NES controller. You must be hanging out with Aaron because he just said Xbox One. I would honestly rather use a Virtual Boy controller than an Xbox controller.
Oh man, well, I don't know what I can say about that. What about Riffle? Riffle, what do you say?
Riffle says Xbox One.
Hey, let me try to call Riffle. Let's see. He's gonna say, I'm too busy. I cannot pick up. I'm too busy. Let's see.
And this is why we love Gabo.
Let's see. It is not. We're gonna call Ricky. No, he's not gonna answer anyway. But let's call Riffle. Let's see.
All right. Well, I'm gonna set the phone down. Aaron says the Xbox One. Let's see. One Up John wants to know what my problem with the Xbox One controller is. I don't like the overall. I don't like the shape of the body of the controller. I don't like the buttons. That's the biggest thing. And it started with the original Xbox controller where I never felt like I could play an Xbox game without having to look at the buttons to see what I was doing. To me, because the PlayStation controller was just an evolution of the Super NES controller, to me, it just felt supernatural to do that. Oh, and I just lost Gabo. Well, Gabo, you can watch the rest of the stream because we're not going to take any more calls because you are wrong. I also, now, not to go on a negative rant, just other controllers I didn't care for. Like, I didn't really care for the Dreamcast controller a whole lot, and I know a lot of people basically consider the Dreamcast controller and the Xbox controller to be, very much, inspired by the same kind of design aesthetics. I will tell you, I have tested a certain prototype controller for the Dreamcast that may be the same manufacturer as the controller that I am playing right now, and it is outstanding. Gabo, I'm not picking up the phone. I'm playing the game. You can deal with it. You're going to voicemail. You know why? Because you don't have green card. All right, Jay, we'll see you later, my friend. 24 watching. I appreciate everybody coming by and hanging out tonight. Appreciate Gabo also throwing a couple bucks in the donation hype there. That's definitely... Well, he's still calling. I guess we'll take this one. Yes, sir.
Easy. He didn't even answer.
Yeah.
But anyways, what we was talking about? Oh, Xbox One is the best controller ever, right?
No, Xbox One is one of the worst controllers ever. Here, hang on. I'm gonna just move my pop filter to set my phone on so I can still play. T-Belly in the house.
Hey, forgot about play. We're talking.
I can do both now. I can set it up where I've got it set where I'm able to do both because I am cool like that.
Hey, look at me. I'm multi-use. Hey, so what were we talking about?
We were talking about how you need to come to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo this year and come hang out again, just like last year.
Oh, yeah, man. Trust me, it was amazing. So many good people we met over there, including you. And, yeah. But I'm still pissed off because I missed the other one.
Yeah, well, I think next year we need to work on getting you and Riff and Ricky out to Milwaukee to the Midwest Gaming Classic. I think that would be... Nice. I think you guys would have a great time there. Very similar vibe and feel to Portland. A little bit smaller. I would say not as many vendors, but they have a huge free play area. Eon Gaming was there again, and they were doing their tournaments with Mario Kart 8, or not Mario Kart 8, but Mario Kart 64 and Smash Brothers, and it was a good show.
Well, I don't know if I ever told you that I love the small venues. For example, it's nothing better than go to a rock concert in a small venue. Because for me, the sound is better. So for me, the expos like that are super awesome too.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing is we got to try to see if we can't get you guys out to Missouri GameCon next year too. I know Riggs is talking about coming out again, bringing the girls out maybe. So, yeah, it'd be good to have you guys out there. We need to see your face again.
Oh, yeah, my beautiful soft skin face.
Yeah, you may have soft skin, but mine is the softest in the squat.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? We are the only bald ones in the squad.
That's because grass doesn't grow on a busy street.
Oh, boy. How many people you got there already?
We've got 18 watching now. We had 24, 25 a little bit earlier. Couple people left because they had to go to bed, because they had to go to work, which I understand. We're going to be streaming for another 20 minutes or so, and I got to get to bed myself.
Me too,
So what?
Nobody likes the controller.
Nobody likes the Xbox controller, although I did see, I think it was Edgar who mentioned the Wii Remote was his least favorite, which I can kind of understand.
Yeah, but come on, bro. You're the only person that I hear doesn't like the Xbox One controller. And so that means something wrong with you.
No, it's just what I'm looking for in a controller is different than what other people look for in a controller.
No, I think you're right.
You think I'm what? Uh-oh, Gabo, did you drop the call again? We need to get you off of T-Mobile or Sprint, whatever you're on, because your service sucks. I don't know if I ever tell you, but Verizon's where it's at.
I got T-Mobile.
Oh, that's why.
But I live in the desert, that's why. So anyways, I need to go to bed, so...
All right, my brother.
Awesome talking to everybody and talking to you. Have a good one. Yeah.
All right, say goodbye, everybody, to Gabbo. He is dropping off the line. He may be hanging out still in the stream, but thanks, Gabbo. Talk to you soon, my brother. I love you. It's true, Gary. Never heard anyone not liking the Xbox One controller. I just don't. T-Belly is coming to Midwest Gaming Classic. I know I talked to J-Love and Linda, and they had both kind of brought up the fact that they wanted to come to Milwaukee, too. When that time comes, get in touch with me, and I'll help you guys pick out, kind of the areas that, not that Milwaukee's a terrible town, but there are some areas where, you're better staying one city versus another. I stay out either in Brookfield, Milwaukee, or Brookfield, Waukesha, or Menominee Falls. Just Menominee Falls, where I'm originally from, which is about 15-20 minutes from downtown. I'm not a fan of one-way streets, and there are a hell of a lot of one-way streets in downtown Milwaukee. And one thing, too, in Milwaukee, you don't pronounce the L. It's Milwaukee. All right, we're going to kill these guys real quick here. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Golden Axe here. It's okay. I mean, it's a medieval version of Double Dragon, or a slower version of Final Fight, really. For me, the frame rate, and it may not even be the right thing as frame rate, but it just feels very slow and sluggish and very plodding. It doesn't feel as smooth as some of the Super NES, side-scrolling beat-em-ups, or even some of the NES beat-em-ups. Again, got to thank everybody. We had, like I say, close to 30 people in here at one point earlier tonight. Greatly appreciate that. I know I have not been streaming as much as I've wanted to lately. Just there are things going on. I'm disappointed, though, that Castlemania Ryan is not here. Oh, and we are done. You know what we are going to do? Let's see. I have a couple friends that are from Milwaukee. Good deal, Krill. Yeah, I think you and I have talked about that, because there was a shop you were telling me about that was on, 54th and Howard that I've been to. That's an okay shop. Yeah, T-Bell, you guys need to come to Mo GameCon. No, Chum Nasty, it is not too small. It is one of the best you will find out there. I absolutely love Missouri GameCon. Let's see, we're going to go back to the main menu. You know what? I will throw this out to the chat. If anyone has a request for any game that is not an RPG for me to play on here quick for the last 10-15 minutes. We can throw some Streets of Rage 2 on there, Gunstar Heroes, Mega Man. Let's see. Comic Zone is great. Earthworm Jim is always a good one. I just overall impressions of the system itself. I just want to say I think that things load up smoothly. The graphics are good. The sound is good. Overall, this is potentially the best mini console out of the box. So Sega's done a really good job with this. Krillin weighs in with some Road Rash, too, since he was the first one to say something. We'll do a little bit of Road Rash. Mega Man X, we will do Streets of Rage next. How's that sound? And then John will do Mean Bean Machine. Edgar, 100% agree with Gary. Xbox is not for me since I really like and neither 361. Just never, at least not for me. Yeah, the buttons. 90% of that controller for me is the buttons. I hate the buttons. I don't know that I've ever played Road Rash. Wow, this is another one. It's like 2 seconds a frame. And I do love me some road racing game. Whoa! Ooh, power sliding through the corners there. Yeah, this game is, and like I said, I think this is just pretty accurate to what the original was, is just the frame rate is really bad. Oh, you are stopped now. This almost feels like a really bad Sega CD game. All right, so we are in 10th place. Whoa, we are all over the place. Lead follower, get the hell out of the way. How about that? Whoa, just about wiped out there. Now, I am using the analog stick again. I'm sure it's just reading it as a digital input. Now we're up to 8th. So, coming up here soon in a couple of months, we also have... Woo! Look out, buddy! Oh! We have the new 1-up 3/4 cabinets coming out. I know Riff is a huge fan of those. One that I'm kind of looking at, I just can't justify $500 for the Star Wars arcade cabinet, although it looks amazing. That is one of those cabinets that I've always wanted to own. That, a Play Choice 10, and there was an old racing style game called APB, where it was basically you were a cop that you were sent out on different missions to arrest, it was a deer, arrest different enemies and whatnot. Oh no, it's the fuzz! We're up to 4th now. The 3rd. Yeah, we will check the chat in a second here. Yeah, so the 1-up Star Wars cabinet was really, like, if it was going to be $300, all right, I'm in. $500, I don't think so. I can't justify that kind of expense. I mean, that's one of those that, you know, I still don't have a PSVR, which I would like. Oh, damn. I am busted and broken. Let's see. When is the Midwest Game Con? Yeah, Stunt Race FX is bad. It is the first weekend in April, I think. Check them out on Facebook. They do have all the dates and everything. I just don't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head. Let's see. Next up, let's see. Road Rash Streets 2. So we will go to Streets 2 next. Nope, I don't want to resume game. I want to return to the main menu. Yeah, Mo GameCon is the first weekend in August. I know, talking to those guys, they already have those dates locked down. Let's see, we're going to do 1 player. And there is a great hack of this where it's TMNT and Streets of Rage for the actual Genesis Mega Drive, and it is great. The one thing that surprised me the first time I played this was the fact that it wasn't a 6-button controller compatible game. It's basically designed around the 3-button controller. Thankfully, I didn't forget about that and hit... There's one of those things where if you press the A button when you first start a game, it calls in like a missile or a bazooka attack or something. I haven't played a Simpson hack of this. That would be awesome. I know Riff the other night posted a video on Instagram where they were playing the Simpsons arcade game. There is about... So I'm an hour or so to the east of Bloomington, Illinois. And there is a barcade there. I can't remember what it's called, but they have the Simpsons arcade game there, and I met up with Adam from 1-Up Card out there probably 2 months ago at this point. I think it was at the end of July or so, and we ended up, Ginger and I went there and we hung out with him and one of his friends for a little bit, and we got pretty far in the Simpsons game. I want to go where there'll be a lot of YouTubers really excited me about it. Well, you have to remember, Gaming Off the Grid will be at Mo GameCon. You'll probably see Do You Nerd. I will be there. Riggs will probably be there. I know talking to him, he really wants to go back. He didn't go this year. Adam Korlick will be there. And it's one of those where it's a one-day convention, but what's nice is there's other things to do in the city. If you're a baseball fan, you can go see the Cardinals play if they're at home. I was hoping this year that the Brewers would be playing the Cardinals in Pixel Beer Stadium. New Busch Stadium. Last year we had a chance. We went to the St. Louis Science Museum, and they actually had an Apollo 11 exhibit set up where they had the original Columbia module was there. Some of the heat shield stuff was there. I'm a huge NASA nerd, so just seeing all that was just really, really cool. This year there was a Pompeii exhibit that we went to, which it was okay. I wasn't as interested in it, but it was still pretty neat. Yeah, I would say don't worry about going there to meet people that you already know. There's so many cool people there. Retro Tony, that's his home event. Game and Browse, that's their home event. There's so many great people from around that area that it's... I don't want to say I have a favorite because I've enjoyed every single convention I've gone to so far. Midwest Gaming Classic will be special for me because it was the first convention I went to where I had my own single panel. GameCon was the first place where I went where I had a panel period, where I did with Riggs last year. Portland is it's the granddaddy of them all. Let's see, one place is Pizza Shuttle. I don't know that I've heard of Pizza Shuttle. Yeah, there's a good place. If you're looking for pizza places in Milwaukee, there's a family restaurant. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Called Pepinos. I went to school with the owner's son. He actually was the one that got me involved in RC racing. Chuck Armelli. Let's see. Other than that, there's Mamma Mia's on 93rd and Greenfield, which is an awesome place to go. Let's see. Saz's downtown is really good. Take that! I guess I have to take that. So, and it's a good overall experience, really. That was the show that I went to last year that had Ernie Hudson was there from the Ghostbusters. Eric Bischoff was there from WCW. I know T-Belly, there's the one in Jersey that John goes to. I don't think it's a Retro Video Game Con. Is that what it's called? Kind of wish Rax the Great was here. He would know. Actually, I haven't seen a whole lot out of Rax lately. I hope he's he's been having some issues with work or whatever, and hope he's doing all right. John, if you're still in here, let him know the next time you talk to him that he was mentioned, and send him my best wishes. I've actually got to see if Russ Lyman, which I think he is going to be at Portland Retro Gaming Expo, got to give him something to take back to Rax as well. Here's the other thing to remember, T-Belly, too, is the fact that you have Nintendo New York, so close to you, and that's something that I would love to go to one day. My daughter went there during her 8th grade class trip and actually got me a hat from Nintendo New York. And something I really appreciate the fact that she went and picked that up. It was something really nice of her to do for me. I appreciate it. Still do. This is such a good beat 'em up. Ooh, hello. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but whips and chains excite me. believe that was from Lisa and Weird Science said that. We'll check comments here in a second. Ooh, right in the boob. All right. We will pause here. Okay, check the chat. Looked pretty cool, but nothing I can... Yep. I went to a video game con last year. I met John Hancock. John's really cool. This year I had in Pennsylvania instead. Rax is doing okay. We're heading to Westworld this weekend. Awesome, John. Let him know I say hi. Would love to go to Nintendo New York. I agree. You are spoiled, T-Belly. Love Weird Science. Great 80s movie. Absolutely. Again, I'm going to throw a link in the chat here. If you guys have the ability to do so and you can help us out, my middle brother Scott is going through another bout of colon cancer, or not, actually, it's metastasized cancer from his colon cancer that is now in his lung and his prostate. If there's anything you guys can do to help us out, I know Scott would appreciate it a whole lot. With his cancer treatment and everything, I believe at this point he's pretty much not working. Ooh. I know it's one of those things I probably shouldn't think in these terms, but it was good tonight with Milwaukee making it to the playoffs again. We don't know how good, bad, and different treatment's going to be, but the fact that they're making one more playoff run that he gets to see is, I'm happy for him on that. We're hoping for the best, though. Like I say, this is his second bout with cancer. He had diagnosed with colon cancer in 2009. Oh, take that! Yes! Good friend of John Hancock. He is a great guy. He is a great guy. It was one of the things... I had talked to John a little bit online before meeting him in person at Portland, and we just sat down last year at dinner one night. I think it was Friday night. Briggs was there, too. And it just like we just got to talking. It was like we were old friends, just carrying on and everything. It was interesting too because it was right after like the At Games Genesis came out, and if anyone's wondering, I am so glad that At Games had nothing to do with the Genesis Mini because this version is pretty stinking awesome. I would hate to see what would happen if At Games would have had their hands at this one like was originally announced. But yeah, John, totally cool dude. Let's see, one up John says, Rex, Russ, and I went to Nintendo New York. You can find the video of it on their channels if you would like. Very cool. Now, some of these dudes just want to try to sneak attack you. So what has everybody else been playing lately? I know a lot of people lately have been playing Link to the Past. I still have yet to open my copy. Had brought up a little bit earlier too. If you have a Walmart in your area, check them for first run games. It seems like, at least in my area, they are marking down the cost of new Switch games. Like for example, Mario Maker is only $50 at our local store. Oh, you dirty booger. Here we go. I think one of the things, too, and one of John can attest to this, is Rax the Great is completely and totally jealous and in love with my me avatar. That his does not look as good in relation to him as mine looks to me. Yeah, this game is just... This engine makes perfect sense for a Turtles game. It is just... As I play it, I think TMNT, Turtles in Time. I see T-Belly. So you'll have to fill me in on how you got a copy of Contra Hardcore early. That's cool as hell, man. I was happy for you when I saw that. So we're going to pause it at this point, and we're going to create a save state. Save 1. Yep. And we're going to go to the main menu, and we're going to finish off here a little bit of Earthworm Jim. Because it is groovy. I would love to come out there for a New York release, man. Ginger's got one of her best friends is probably about half an hour away in Jersey, and we've talked about coming out to visit them. Yep, nope. Nope. Fire, nope. Nope. Fire whip. You guys didn't see that, by the way. I know, John, it's crazy, isn't it? Let's see. Krillin, I own every copy of this. I have it for the Saturn. I have it for the Genesis. I have it for... Actually, I don't have everyone because I don't have the PS3 digital-only version. Yeah, pimping ain't easy for you, is it, T-Belly? This is one of those games, too, that I just think they did an amazing job of the emulation on. I think the music is spot on. The graphics look great. Overall, just awesome. Although, you know, I'm going to reset this because I'm not liking that, the control map. Yeah, we're going to do this one. And again, I am also using the, I've mentioned a couple times, the BrawlerGen from Retro Fighters. This controller is awesome, available through CastlemaniaGames.com too. Is there unlimited with probably I hate when games are like... No, it's the easy mode. One of the things too I'm looking forward to at Portland is I want to try to talk to Tommy Tellerico. He was there last year. I talked to him a little bit, just to try to find out some more information on the Amica and everything. And I do plan on picking up one of those. Earthworm Jim 3D on the N64. I have a copy. I honestly, I've never played it. I got my copy last year at the Mo Game Con from Victor, who used to own We Play Games in Rantoul, Illinois. And, yeah. I don't think I've ever played it, though. Yeah, I still don't have my buttons configured right. What did I screw up here? What do I need to do? We're just going to go here. We're going to return to main menu. I'm going to launch a different game and then go back in here. Just going to Sonic for a moment. In the main menu, that should reset. Yeah, I screwed something up on the controls I didn't like. We'll go back in there. Oh, and I don't know if you've noticed, I have this sorted by release date. Switch release was crazy to watch. Yeah. be fun to play first time on stream. I'm sure you won't like it, but I've had Earthworm Jim 64 playing on my N64 just in background and just looking. It's like, God, this game looks terrible. Bad dog. Now, got to thank all you guys again for stopping by tonight and hanging out with me. I know I don't stream as much as I would like to. Hopefully, we'll be able to get more streaming going soon. We had almost 30 people at one point in here earlier tonight. Still have 18 watching, so thank you all. Thanks, Gabo, earlier for the donation with the donation hype. Those of you who have gone ahead and shared the stream outward and given a thumbs up and everything definitely helps the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Gotcha. Got those guys there. Yeah, it's terrible. It's hideous is part of it. And they tried to do something with the game that just it was never Jim's core gameplay. Is unfortunate. There we go. Out of the box, T-Belly asked where I would rank this versus the PlayStation Classic, the NES Classic, and the Super NES Classic. So, throwing my bias out there in the first place, you have to remember the Super NES, my favorite console of all time. So for me, the Super NES Classic is possibly my favorite of the mini systems just because of the games that it had on there. That being said, I think... So, the PlayStation Classic, easiest, that's the worst. That's just easy to say. I played so many of the NES Classic games and owned them back in the day that always had a special place in my heart. Same with the Super NES. I think Nintendo really needed to include more games in the Super NES Classic. Especially with the fact that it costs significantly more than the NES Classic. And to have 10 fewer games, I thought really was kind of crappy. Yes, you got Star Fox 2, which was cool. It was cool to finally have an official release Star Fox 2. But it wasn't worth, even with the extra controller, it wasn't worth the extra, was it 20 bucks more? I can't even remember at this time. I didn't think the Super NES Classic was as good of a value as some of the other systems out there. I think the NES Classic was important because it was the first clone console, or not even clone, but a plug-and-play console from an OEM that was good. And I think it really set a very high standard on how to do retro emulation. Do it. I think Nintendo has dropped the ball a little bit, perhaps, on the fact that it does have a pretty significant lag and delay in it. The latency is pretty high. Anyone who's played Punch-Out knows what I'm talking about. And unfortunately, that was continued on in the... I'm going to pause it here real quick. It was continued on in the Super NES Classic, too. I think as far as overall performance out of the box, I think that the Genesis Classic probably has the best out-of-the-box performance regarding lag, latency, delay, responsiveness. It's probably the closest to original hardware. And yes, I don't like Breath of the Wild. Deal with it. I also just don't like RPGs, which... it's, again, another one of those you'll have to deal with. Although, if you are a fan of Irsha Gaming, she just did a video. Her and Catherine, I think that's her name, did a video talking about unpopular gaming opinions that they have. And one that I thought was interesting, and I can understand, and even relate to it a little bit, is she is not a fan of Smash Brothers. And, like, I think it's okay. I don't think it's, like, to me, it's not a system seller. I would not buy a system at launch if the main launch title was a Smash Brothers game. But then again, John, you have to remember I also hate the Xbox controller, so there's that too. Now this is where this part gets hard. Down. Got him. Yeah, but I have to say the Genesis Mini is really, really good. I think it's done a good job. I'm so excited. I am also excited to see how the TurboGrafx 16 Mini does out of the box. I think that's really I think it's a system that is underrated. I know I've always been impressed with it. I've never actually played one. And quite honestly, there's only a handful of games I really want to play. I love the fact that Rondo of Blood is on there. I think for a lot of us that never had a chance to play that before, that is it's a system set. That's a system set. Ah, damn it, I missed the jet. So, and again, the cool thing about this is with this system right now, I'm playing using the mCable Classic, and I think the visuals look really, really good on it. I'm digging what the mCable is doing. You know, not a cheap investment by any stretch of the imagination, 130 bucks, but it'll work with any HDMI output, and it looks really super clean. Hey, video game lover, how you doing? Krillin owns a Turbo Duo and a Turbo Express. I remember you talking to me about that. Smash, but I'm not a hardcore into it. I haven't touched it quite a while. Yep. Well, you know, I think right now it is 11:30 my time. We are going to go ahead and we are going to save. And see if you guys have any final questions. We'll wrap it up here tonight. We're an hour and a half into this stream. Again, you know, want to thank everybody who stopped by and checked out what we had going on here. I am, if you guys see Castlemania Ryan on Twitter, make sure you mock him that he has been crying for me to play some Genesis Mini to stream it, and I've done that, and he was not here. So make sure you guys mock him relentlessly. It is at Castlemania Ryan on Twitter. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming and hanging out. If you got any final questions, we'll chill out for a couple more minutes here. Otherwise, we're going to wrap things up in about 5 minutes at the bottom of the hour. I got to get up early for work. Got to get the garbage out yet. Got to get gas before. Shoot, I got to get gas before I go to work tomorrow. Just remember that. So this has been a fun stream. Plan on doing more soon. I'm liking the way this mCable is working. I definitely plan on doing some streaming with the mCable going through like the Eon Gaming GCHD, through the Eon what is the Super 64, the HDMI adapter for the N64, the plug and play one, with the Switch, with my HDMI equipped NES, just to see how it all looks going through that. So, thanks everyone too. Like I mentioned earlier tonight, we just recently crossed 7,600 for our subscriber count. That has been just a nice boost to see here. Man, it'd be awesome to hit 10,000 before the end of the year. We demand more, Gary. John, nobody wants more of that. That's a bad thing. If you pizza when you're supposed to French fry, you're gonna have a bad time. Any final questions? Any final feedback that you want on the Genesis Classic or Genesis Mini as well? Anything on the controller? Like I say, we were using the Retro Fighters BrawlerGen USB equipped controller, and man, this thing is legit. This is really, really good. I found myself going back and forth between the analog stick and the D-pad quite a bit, which I did not anticipate. Button presses, everything felt good. My hands, I'm not fatigued, and I do have a little bit of arthritis, especially in my right hand. Sucks getting old, guys. But this really, I'm really liking how this performed tonight. No real complaints about the controller, about... I'm feeling you'll hit 20,000 subs eventually. That is the goal. Actually, the goal I want, as dumb as it sounds, I want one of those stupid play buttons. So, little story. I started on YouTube in November of 2007, where I launched the first social media foray for the company I was working for at the time. And when I left the company, they were at, well, when I stopped doing videos for them, we were at about 50,000 followers. I don't know where they're at now because they're doing paid ads and everything. I just didn't have access to that. So it's been fun to be able to do this and actually see faster growth just as me versus as a company that has a marketing team with graphic designers, copywriters, videographers, so on and so forth. No, because I am not anti-Semitic, John. John says Gary's going to be the next PewDiePie. So no, and no. Although being the next Dictor Van Doomcock would be. If you guys haven't checked out, so like I said, I've been getting into a lot of sci-fi channels lately, and there's a channel out there called what is the full name? It is Overlord. I'll get you the name of the channel. Everyone just knows him as Dictor Von Doomcock. So let me see if I can find it. It's called Overlord DVD. Overlord DVD is Dictor Van Doomcock. And he's just got some hilarious content. He just passed 50,000 subscribers. He has, if you, Star Trek fan, I hate Star Trek Discovery. I think it's terrible. It's poorly written. It's it's bad. And he's done a lot of content on his opinions on Star Wars, Star Trek, where things are and everything. And I enjoy it. Same with the Anti-Trekker. Same with Bird of Prey 5. Same with Nerdrotic. There's a lot of really good nerd culture channels out there too, which I really have gotten into. If you guys haven't checked them out, definitely do so. I would say start with Nerdrotic and start with Anti-Tracker. So, and in fact, what I'm going to do here, I will share their channels here in the chat. Next Generation currently. Chumnasty, I will tell you, my favorite is Deep Space Nine. Part of it is because Avery Brooks is he is the greatest captain ever to sit in the big chair. I absolutely love Avery Brooks as Commander or Captain Sisko. Excuse me. And one of the things I really like about the Anti-Trekker 2 is his son Joshua does super chat rewards, just little animations and whatnot, and they're amazing. He has, you know what? I'm gonna throw this in. Let me see if I can actually. I don't have it set up. I was gonna see if I could find Theseus and Lorehead. It's something you would definitely. I would think that you would enjoy. Here. But do me a favor, if you are in the chat right now, go to, and he's not streaming right now or anything. He normally streams during the day, but he's got really good, like his current, he does multi-part movie reviews, and he's gone through X-Men, the last X-Men movie, which I thought was just kind of eh. But do me a favor here, and you may hear an echo, but go on and check out the Anti-Trekker. I just put a link to his channel in the chat there. Good guy, good content, especially if you love the sci-fi and the comic book stuff too. So, well, it is 11:31. I'm tired. It's been a long day. The Brewers are going to the playoffs, second year in a row. I can't believe it. We've had an awesome stream. The BrawlerGen worked flawlessly. The Genesis Mini is amazing. The mCable Classic is awesome. You can check out all this stuff at CastlemaniaGames.com or in our Amazon storefront. After the stream archive is live, I'll have that information in pinned posts and everything for you. Thank you all for coming and hanging out and everything. Mock, the one and only Castlemania Ryan, because he missed this. And if you happen to see any Cubs fans, mock them too, because, well, they're Cubs fans. Terrible choke. Terrible. It was awesome to watch them choke. So thank you all for hanging out. We will see you guys real soon. And until the next time, we are checked out, gone.